स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Sri Ramakrishna says in the end of the story, God alone is the doer, everything happens by His will. But it is very difficult to understand that. Take the case of Sadhu of Bhukailas, how people tortured him and in a way killed him. They had found him in Samadhi. First they buried him, then they put him under water, and then they branded him with hot iron. Thus they brought him back to consciousness of the world. But in the end, Sadhu died as a result of these tortures. He undoubtedly suffered at the hands of men, though, as you say, he died by the will of God. An incident of those days, Hazra is quoting, very difficult to understand. Everything happens by the will of God. Because when these things are seen, which looks like injustice, and somebody is being tortured and killed, how to accept it or understand it as the will of God? Master, man must reap the fruit of his own karma. But as far as the death of that holy man is concerned, it was brought about by the will of God. The Kavirajas prepare Marakadhvaja in a bottle. The bottle is covered with clay and heated in fire. The gold inside the bottle melts, combines with the other ingredients, and the medicine is made. Then the physician breaks the bottle carefully and take out the medicine. When the medicine is made, what difference does it make whether the bottle is preserved or broken? So the people think that holy man was killed, but perhaps his inner stuff had been made. After the realization of God, what difference does it make whether the body lives or dies? The purpose of the body is over. The sadhu was in a deep samadhi. By waking him, by putting him, people cannot understand what is samadhi sthiti. And he was not aware of the external world. When he was beaten also, he did not know he is being beaten. The withdrawal in mind, whole my consciousness being withdrawn in sleep. Somebody beats me once, I will wake up. But in samadhi, it is total disconnection from the body to the extent that body is beaten, or Vinayakananda says in one place, when I sit in meditation, you can put fire upon me, I will not be able to recognize it nor wake up from my samadhi. So deep it is, and the body awareness, with the simplest spiritual awakening, before one can enter into Savikalpa Samadhi. The relationship with the body breaks. He is there within, independent of body. He will be just like sitting in a car. He will be sitting with just spiritual awakening, spiritually awakened. He is totally disconnected from body. The body identity breaks. The spiritual identity comes first time. So, when you are not a body, if somebody beats somebody else's body, you are there, but you are not identified with that body. You are all, as Atman, you are all pervading. As much you are there in this body, you are in the other body also. But the identification is not established. You are there, but you are not identified, just like you are in sleep. Sleep, you are there in that body, but you don't identify with that body. Like that, in other body also I am there, but I am not identified there, but identified here with this body. And in Samadhi, this identity itself breaks off forever. It is like just like any other's body. I am dwelling in it. This dwelling has come out of the house. In sleep, I dwell inside the bodily existence. I don't become, I separate but continue to be in that. But in Samadhi, I shrink from the body and don't dwell it. I dwell in spirit. Instead of dwelling in body, in sleep I dwell in the body. But in Samadhi, I dwell in spirit. It's little difficult, subtle to understand. And anybody beats the body also, you not know. These people, for what reason I don't know, beaten, then they put in the water, soaked in water. There is no breathing, nothing. Then the hot iron was kept because bodily existence it is still hot. It has not become cold like dead body. Then he came to senses slowly, but he cannot identify with the body. Anyway, the sadhu of now this is the incident. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, regarding that particular incident of sadhu, the purpose of the body is over. He had to realize God and be free from nature forever. He has been released from the bodily existence, for whether body remains. Beautiful example he gives, the making the medicine. Even in Ayurvedic, all Ayurvedic medicines, all the bhasmas are made, including gold bhasma. 2 earthen bowls are taken. In the earthen bowl, whatever is to be converted into the bhasma, that is ash. Suppose iron, I want to convert it into bhasma, aya bhasma, or gold into bhasma, swarna bhasma. The gold I put, and some ingredients, other ingredients, roots and shoots, some things we put, cover it and seal it off and put in a furnace. After a certain time we take it out. It is completely sealed. We break it open. We get the bhasma inside. All things have burnt away. Nothing remains. Only the ash of the gold remains in the center. That gold ash is taken, iron ash is taken. It is a medicine. Now the purpose of the pot is over, for which they had taken the 2 bowls of earthen bowls. They just break it and open it. Egg. The mother goes on sitting. If it is broken earlier, when the chick is ready inside, say same mother goes, just pecks it and the egg is broken. The chick comes out. We don't feel that egg has been broken. When we see it is still not, the chick has not formed, and this falls down or it is broken, we feel hurt. Oh, he is giving that example after realization of the body, the purpose of body is over. The Jivatma has become one with the Paramatman. The sadhu of Bhukailas was in Samadhi. There are many kinds of Samadhi. My own spiritual experiences tally with the words I heard from the sadhu of Rishikesh. Sometimes I feel the rising of spiritual current inside me, as it were creeping of an ant. Sometimes it feels like movement of monkey jumping from one branch to another branch. Again, sometimes it feels like swimming in water. Only he who experiences it knows what it is like. In Samadhi, one forgets the world. When the mind comes down a little, I say to the Divine Mother, Mother, please cure me of this. I want to talk to people. Now, we go back to the will of God. Will of God doesn't individually need not get applied unless he is a devotee. It becomes a law. A law is formed. Everybody follows. Nature follows it when God makes the law. For example, law of karma. Whatever you do, you will have to suffer or enjoy according to the merit and demerit of the karma. Now, this aspect, the law is made, and now who applies it finally is nature. Nature is taking care. A person has done something good, something bad. He is experiencing happiness and joy of doing good, and suffering of the bad deeds doesn't matter. But God may not, He has made a law and left it. He may not be individually viewing it. Nature is there to take care. Now, Government of India has made certain laws. Now, a person who murders is put to given life sentence or is given death sentence. Now, the law is made by Government of India. Now, who executes this law? The judges who give the orders, and those who execute the death of that criminal are entirely different from the governing body of the Government of India. None of the ministers or even the chief minister or the prime minister or president will be knowing this incident. Everything goes on according to. If particularly, suppose in front of our ashrama there is a road, the road has to be done by the such and such authority is there. Final order, the rule is made by suppose the President of India. President of India will not be knowing whether the road is been established or not. Law is governing. Law is made. Exemption from law can be God. God can give us exemption from the karma. God can release. God can waive the karma because He is doer. But He need not generally saying, though He is all-knowing, He will not interfere nor know about it. So here comes how we are going to establish the will of God works as a law and nature executes it. Everything is done in that way. Everything is moving according to a law. And from that law, you can get an exemption by self-surrender. None but the Ishwar Kotis can return to the plane of relative consciousness after attaining samadhi. None but the Ishwar Kotis can return to the plane of relative consciousness after attaining samadhi. Ishwar Kotis alone can return to the plane of relative existence. That is, they can come back to at their will, Ishwar Kotis. Some ordinary men attain samadhi through spiritual discipline, but they do not come back. But when God Himself is born as a man, as an incarnation, holding in His hand the keys to others' liberation, then for the welfare of humanity, the incarnation returns from samadhi to the consciousness of the world. For the world. Incarnations belong to a different class because they by their own will, yielding themselves to the Yoga Maya, one of their powers, they take the human births. Taking human birth is by their own will, subjecting themselves to their own power, which can do and undo anything. Yoga Maya is a power. Maya is what creates the universe, makes the whole universe appear. The one becoming many. The apparent division, separation, multiplication, the pattern formation is done by Maya, just like a dream. The mind has a power to create a dream world when we enter into dream state. So, like that, the power of God, there is power of mind, here it is power of God. That power is Shakti. Power of God is there to create this universe. Similarly, see, many powers are there. One power is Yoga Maya, which can do and undo anything. That makes God appear on the earth. The same power and everything, that same consciousness. Consciousness has no limitation. It is a wave forming in the ocean. A particular force is making the wave formation. In the wave is the God with form. Ocean is the formless absolute. From the absolute, it is manifesting. From the vast ocean, a wave is presenting. This formation of the wave, the formless taking form, is done by Yoga Maya, a power. They belong to it. Everything is in His control. And when the consciousness takes a form, the ocean remains ocean if with wave or without wave. Wave is a part of ocean. Saguna Sakara and manifestation of God in the human form is a wave in the ocean of Sachidananda. So it doesn't make any difference. The absolute will remain absolute, whether God has taken incarnation or not. But when God Himself is born as man, as an incarnation, holding normal people, when they enter into samadhi, they don't come back. Samadhi means nirvikalpa samadhi. Savikalpa samadhi, many times they come and go. But nirvikalpa samadhi, most of the sadhakas, they are unable to come. It captures, it dissolves, it makes him dissolve. So ordinary worldly enjoyments make man forget the whole of this one. runs after it. And what about Brahmananda, where all bonds of the soul is broken? He is free in every aspect. He is limited, all limitations break. He becomes infinite. He becomes eternal. He becomes immortal. A moth which has seen light, will it enter into darkness again? Will never. Like that, most of the sadhakas enter into the transcendental realm and do not want to come back into a bodily limitation. So that it is all there. Or maintain separate identity and enjoy. The ocean of Satchidananda. In the Satchidananda ocean, as a manifestation of bliss, he enjoys there. Or becomes totally dissolved, like salted oil dissolving in ocean. But for the Ishvara Kotis, have the powers to come back by their own will, because they have been endowed with a particular powers and a particular purpose to fulfill. Naren enters into Nirvikalpa and comes back. A few more times we see him in the West entering into such deep meditations. And they can come back at their will. Just like I sleep, but I cannot come back at my will. I don't even know waking state is there. Nature has to bring me back. So though for those other souls, they usually don't come back, and if Divine Mother wants, can make them come back. So, and make them Ishvara Kotis and keep also. Divine Mother has that final right to release the soul at what, when and how to utilize an enlightened soul. So here we see the whole thing, how the just simple word, very difficult to understand, its divine will is continuing. Whereas in case of incarnation, they have the key themselves. They carry the key. If they want, they can dissolve the body. They can leave the body. They can become the absolute again. Whatever they want, at their will, and the power too. And out of intense compassion for Jiva, they go and come back to show the Jiva what is that. At least an inkling of the reality they can experience, understand. Because whole atmosphere when it is charged, when I read a book, suppose there is a incident which makes me weep, there is an incident which makes me laugh, I react to it. I may not loudly laugh or weep, but I feel within. Within myself I laugh, within myself I weep. But if the incident is actually happening in front of me, how I would react to it? I would wail, shout, in either case. Like that will be the difference. M. Does the Master hold in his hand the keys to man's liberation? Hazra. The one thing needful is to please God. What does it matter whether an incarnation of God exists or not? It was the day of new moon. Gradually night descended. How the M is asking to himself, not to Master or anybody. He is having a doubt in his mind and he has put it. M is to himself. Does the Master means Sri Ramakrishna, hold in his hand the key to the man's liberation? Because the previous, but when God himself is born as a man, as an incarnation, holding in his hand the key to others' liberation, then for the welfare of humanity, the incarnation returned from samadhi to conscious world. Incarnations have the key to liberate others. Only God alone can liberate a jiva, independent of sadhana also. He can, the karmic karma, both the action and reaction aspect and the tendency, inertia, both he can erase. He can erase the karma of a jiva, the sukha dukkha giving karma, and the tendencies that make him enter the world again and again, drive towards the world, that also he can destroy. Nobody else can destroy. Each has to overcome his vasana and realize God. And sukha dukkha karma has to be worked out, or through knowledge it is to be destroyed. But God alone has the power to destroy the karma of others. Even a realized soul, even a Jivan Mukta cannot destroy the karmas of others. God alone. So God has the key. God alone can give liberation to others by wiping, it is called Kapala Moksha, wiping away the karma of a jiva. Kapala Moksha. Hazra. The one thing needed is to please God. When he is returning from, Sri Ramakrishna is quoting, in between is the Yam's thought. The continuation is with the liberation. He holds the key. He holds the key, is continuing. Hazra is telling after he has the key to liberate jiva, and from samadhi he comes out of compassion for jiva. He has come down for that purpose, and he has the key to liberate. Hazra is telling the one thing needful is to please God. What does it matter whether an incarnation of God exists or not? Advaitic bearing he is having. So how the mind thinks, you see. Hazra. Suppose there was a dualist, not Advaitic, a bhakta. His view and understanding, oh God, he has the key to liberate others. God has come down in human form. I have been released this life with all my defects, with all my imperfections within, with all my karmic load and tendencies, my nature. I can be liberated if God takes mercy on me, if God's grace descend on me. Niranjanam nityamanantarupam bhaktanukampa dritavigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namami.